What's up, Sooner Surge, Sooner Nation? Happy Friday, late Friday evening. Thanks for being on with us. As always, to the best, the Sooner Surge viewers and followers. What's up, Bradley? What's up, Lori? What's up, Bobby Wiley? As Lori says, hit the like, guys. It really helps us out. Appreciate you doing that. Let's get right into it, Jay. Bobby Wiley, a Sooner Surge Unlimited member, and we had a couple join tonight. Appreciate those that have. Caleb Downs to Ohio State. I agree with you, Bobby. A little surprised, but very happy he's not in the SEC. I will say that.
I was surprised by that too, but like you said and Bobby said, glad he's not at Georgia. Glad he went to Ohio State. Only
Okay,
chance you're going to see Ohio State is in playoffs.
Sooner fan, look, every night, I know you're dropping this every night. Another elite transfer portal player not transferring to OU. Unbelievable. I don't think
Hey,
no one thought OU had a chance in Caleb Downs.
okay, but Jeremy, I think the concerning thing and why some fans are saying this is when some of these 5-star guys are entering the portal, the OU name's not even coming up. I think that's more of what they're saying. It's not even a possibility. And I think Jay says, or Ron says it, OU in the portal, when people think transferring, I think the top dogs aren't considering Oklahoma.
Okay,
And
and
listen,
I agree, Jay.
Jeremy, maybe the narrative is out there that some of these other schools are paying a ton of money, right? Maybe that's a narrative.
And I agree that OU's not in the discussion on the big dogs, but they're in discussion in the portal. It's just not the big dogs, and I agree. Chad, what's up, Sooner Surge Unlimited member? And hey, kudos to Believe and Be Saved Ministry. Joined up tonight. Appreciate you doing that. I have not seen that you've joined the Discord, Believe and Be Saved, but there's a link. You can click it, and you can be in text thread with us during the day as well. That's part of the perks you receive as being a Sooner Surge Unlimited member. Might as well use that perk.
Hey, I saw Rob's comment there about are we even still looking? Yes. OU did have a visitor today in the offensive lineman from Washington, and I think we need to get to that because obviously played a lot. I think started 4 games, played in 12 there for the Joe Moore Award-winning Washington offensive line. He's also got a younger brother. We'll see, but the one that's there visiting today, and I think he had OU as a second choice, I believe, out of high school. So good chance they could land him, I think.
Absolutely. And Guerin and Landon Hatchett would be, Landon's younger. He's smaller. He's like 6'2", 310, whereas Guerin Hatchett is 6'4", 330, I think. Hunter might correct me on the weight on that, but he's a bigger guy, interior lineman on the offensive side. Look, he's on this. This would be a bad miss because he's on campus. Like, if you can't land him from Washington, I think that's a bad sign.
Can you get both of them, him and his brother? That's the question.
I don't see why you couldn't. They seem like
his brother was a number 5 player in all of the state of Washington out of high school. Really good player.
Jay.
Yeah.
I thought both were on campus too, but you've heard otherwise, right, Jay?
I don't know, Jeremy. I don't even know. I just know. Here's the thing: whether or not they're both there or not, I have no idea. I am not an insider. I will say this: I think the chances are, if you get one of them, I think there's a good chance you get both. That's just my opinion. Now, whether or not it happens or not, I don't know.
Bobby says that Landon didn't take the visit, but I don't know. You got Guerin's the better of the two right now, so that's the one you want right now, and he's on campus, and he liked OU the first time. Richard Ringer, Sooner Surge Unlimited member, shout out. Appreciate it. You'll be at the Puerto Vallarta tournament. Your merch should be coming in soon, but Stone and Jackson, I know Hunter has watched a lot of this Polynesian Bowl. Jackson had 2 tackles early on. Heard that Jayden Jackson looked really good.
Well, and it's a weird thing because you can't really blitz. And they could probably double. It's a weird the way they do some of this on this thing is weird. But I'll say this: when David Stone and Jayden Jackson were not in the game, you could tell. I could tell you that much.
Bradley, shout out to you for being a Sooner Surge Unlimited member as well. Bradley says he saw a tweet that both were on campus.
Yeah,
I
but
know the
listen,
tweet. I
you know
know
how
the tweet
tweets
you're
are.
talking about. Hey, I know the tweet, but that may have been an old picture.
I guess
And
Bobby's on board there, so he knows.
it looks
I
like
don't know.
Bobby's on an insider board. And I don't really want to post what insider, maybe if it's behind a paywall. But regardless, we know that there's a Hatchet brother on campus, and it's a bad miss if you don't get him. It's a bad miss, Jay.
Yeah, I think it's a guy you got. You really need depth. We've already talked about it. You need another piece on the offensive line. Played for the Joe Moore award-winning offensive line. Had OU high on his list out of high school. Chose Washington. I can't imagine him. I don't know. I'm not going to speak for anybody, but I would think this is a really good chance of landing him. And that would
And
put you with
Jay,
three other guys that already committed out of the portal, and we'll see. But
Jay, it does seem that OU kind of honed in on this one pretty quick.
Mess says that Woolard tweeting Landon.
Hey, Landon also graduated the same year Heath Azida did out of the state of Washington. Hey,
correct.
listen,
Correct.
don't you think, though, that the OU kind of honed in on this one quicker? And it could be because of the first time they were in on it.
Let me say this. Let me say this about this guy from Washington. One of the differences, he's also not a five-star Caden Proctor or a Lance Hurd.
They're both.
I will say
stars,
that
though.
OU has not landed. If you want to talk about the top, maybe I don't know. We could pull up a list here of the top 10 guys that enter the portal. I think that's what Sooner fans get at. They haven't really been on those guys. And I think Bobby or somebody said it earlier, and 100% correct. And I think we just need to face facts, guys. OU will not overpay and go all in on one guy. I just don't know if that's going to happen, guys.
Yeah, I agree. And hey, for $4.99 a month, Blake, we're not insiders, but we love chatting with everyone on here. Richard Ringer, both have hit the portal. Both have entered the portal. Both brothers entered the portal. That is 100% true. Whether or not they're both on campus, there's kind of two sides on that. But both Hatchet brothers in the portal.
Why aren't they going to Alabama to visit though? With their
that's
coach?
weird. Now I know Muhammad from Washington. It sounds like is going to be going to Alabama, and obviously the dad even tweeted something out, Jay, about DeBoer and leaving. So they're not happy with him.
Yeah. Hey, Hunter, I would love your thoughts on this too, and people in the chat. What do you think of the Polynesian Bowl timing? Why do they do it right
stupid.
now?
It's dumb.
I mean, OU started workouts. It's great that Jackson and Stone are getting to do this. I think it's outstanding. I just wonder why they do it at this time, and I've wondered why they do that.
I think
what's the reasoning?
I think it's stupid. Hey, Sooner fan has a question here, Jay. And Sooner fan, are you asking who's the best defensive player OU's landed in the portal this year? Or are you talking about last 3
I think he's saying
years?
I think he's saying the last 3 or 4 years, 2 years, whatever.
I think time will tell. I think Deson McCullough could be a great one. Bothroyd was blah. Trace Ford was blah. Hunter says Des Malone for this year. I mean, I don't know how much he's going to play, Hunter. Oh, he says this current season. It could end up being Woolard.
Hey, Jeremy, I would beg to say that last year's best portal guy that they got was a JUCO in Kendall Dobie.
I was just getting ready to say that.
And it's not really a portal, in my opinion.
No, I think JUCO can be just as good. And I don't know. We're going to try to have someone on the program, on the live in the next week or so, to talk about just the fact that how these JUCO guys are not getting a chance now. And I know he was a crew hunter, but portal smortal. JUCO, I'll count as a portal if I want anyway, I think.
Hey,
it's
the
pretty
current
much the same
season.
thing.
Hey, the current season, I think the one that might make more of an impact is going to be Woolard out of Miami of Ohio.
That's who I said possibly. I don't know how much he's going to get on the field either. I don't know, Jay.
Yeah.
Listen, Kenneth, I agree, and I think you're talking about Bray Walker. Bray Walker was a 5-star. If that's who you're talking about, Bray Walker, the guy that
Correct.
never panned out at OU. There's been a handful of guys that haven't panned out, and there's been a handful of 3-stars that have played outside their ever-loving mind. But I think we all want 5-stars. You got to go after
But
them.
let me say this. Hey, let me say this. Even offensive linemen that OU did get that weren't like big time 5-star guys. Don't forget, Wanya Moore's had a decent. I mean, he's in the NFL now. He's pretty good out of Tennessee, but I don't think he was a 5-star. McCade Mator had a decent year, but I will say this: if OU thinks they're going to go into the SEC getting guys, and I'm just going to use these examples, Everett and some of these other guys on the offensive line, I think they're going to be mistaken.
Yeah, and Hunter's the question, hit the like, as Lloyd says. Please do that. It's the least you can do. It helps us. Someone asked about the corners. Hunter talks about Des Malone maybe taking the Kenai Walker rotational player type. But here's the deal. Obviously, there's a trust issue. I think if there wasn't a trust issue at some of those corners, but I think they have to go too deep on the corners and rotate in some more. You just have to. And I also think that it keeps the offensive guys off a little bit, because you bring a guy who's a little more physical in for a series. It messes with the receivers, I think, and people don't talk about that enough. I can bring a physical guy in one series. I can bring a guy speedster in a little different series, a tall guy one series. Mix it up a little. I think we lost Jay. I want to see Jacoby Johnson as well. I love the size that he offers, Hunter. I definitely love the size. Ron was right. Johnson looked good in high school. You're also right that Patty kills him in the portal. There's no doubt. If you haven't checked the first episode of the championship mindset, it was pretty cool for the OU Sooner softball team. Linebacker depth. Let's talk this. Dalpois, welcome again as always. The linebacker depth this year, and I would even say this coming year and next year, the year after, is pretty good. It's pretty deep. And I think the two deep of the linebackers, and Hunter, you can help me out here, but I'm just going to throw some names out there. It is very, very, very deep. Okay. You got Dan, and Hunter's dropping him in the chat. Lewis Carter, guys. Listen, Lewis Carter, look at his body. He looked the part last year. Couldn't get on the field, but he looked the part. He actually played pretty well in special teams, if I remember correctly. Danny, Kip, Canick, Carter, Kobe McKenzie, Jay Jones. You asked who's after those guys. You got Sammy O as well, as Hunter says. Connor Neer is a guy. Taylor Wine, Hunter. Is he a guy that's only on the edge? But there's some other guys. Listen, the offensive line, I mean, the linebacker core is, they didn't even recruit at that position much because they know how deep they are. How about that? I mean, it is very exciting what they have on campus. And I tell you what I like. And Hunter thinks that Heim, that I think he means will be the cheetah most likely. Listen, I think if you ask Brent Venables, you ask the defensive staff, and a position group that they're super, super excited about, they're going to say a lot of them. But the linebacker, I love the veteran leadership juxtaposed with, in contrast with the young guys and the guys they've had there for a year or two. They have everything you could want. They have speed. They have size and physicality. And what's interesting, 405 boy, you talk about deepest defensive position. Don't you? Phil Picotta. Phil Picotta is another one. Kim, you're right. We talk about the defensive linebacker position. I think the reason we haven't talked about it a lot on here, honestly, is because there's so much trust in that room. Would you guys agree with that? I think there's a reason we've talked about other position groups. I think OU fans are perfectly fine with what is at the linebacker position, super excited about it, and trust it wholeheartedly. Would you guys agree with that? Because I think that's where we're at on the linebacker side. This linebacker room is set, and it's set to play multiple guys. It's set to put pressure on the quarterback. I like everything I'm hearing about Zach Alley, bringing guys up closer, playing a little more man. And listen, what are your thoughts? Because honestly, I do think that, and I'm just going to be a little critical here. I think it is very hard for a linebacker to play a lot of zone coverage. I think OU's got some guys with some speed that would probably rather play in a man, at least pass. I'm talking pass coverage. Because what happens, you're in a zone, you're on your heels a little more. These guys are attack, attack, attack linebackers. Okay? There's no one better than Stutzman, Canick, Kip, downhill. But you also got to play guys in coverage. So we'll see what changes on that. But I want them downhill and in man, Jay. We're talking about how deep the linebacker room is, Jay.
Very deep. I mean, one of the deepest on the team, don't you think?
Oh, that's what I said. It's probably the deepest.
I think so. I mean, and the thing is, other than Stutzman, they're still pretty young in it. That's the thing. I mean, other than Danny, I mean, Kinnick is still only a junior, and really freshman year didn't play a whole lot. So you got Kobe that hasn't. I mean, he played a little bit more this year, but obviously, man, you flipped on me. What happened? But I still think there's a lot of room there for those guys to even improve more and more. I mean,
how much do you think Lewis Carter gets on the field?
I'm not a coach, so I have no clue. I just know his upside is really high from what I've heard. But
yeah.
The thing is, where, Jeremy?
Hey, I don't know where,
what
Jay.
About Harrington?
Yeah, Richard says coming back. I have not heard anything official that it's been approved.
I haven't heard anything official as well.
I have not heard it.
Now, I would assume he's going to come back because I would assume he'd get the medical thing unless the NCAA just screws him over. NCAA's done that to other people, so who knows?
Hunter's posting down here, and I want everyone to look at this. Another interesting offer today. Taj Overton from Owasso, class of 2027, sophomore season, 25 tackles for losses. That's insane.
Yeah, did you watch him last year in person?
I saw him once.
What do you think?
And it's hard to tell in high school football sometimes, but obviously he's going to be the real deal.
Jay Jones says on here, Carter pushes Canick for playing time?
I'm going to disagree.
Listen, I understand Carter, his upside is so big, but also you can't say Canick's upside wasn't big either, and it isn't big. So you got to learn the defense, obviously. And you know, Kip this year came in spurts and played unbelievable. I could see Lewis Carter getting in there and making plays when he's in there. I don't know how much he can get in there. I think
Jay,
he's so talented in those positions, man.
Canick had some really good games. Hey, Jay, Stutzman, though, would you say he was the best in coverage guy too? Because I'm thinking of 5 or 6 plays on my head where he was 20 yards downfield in them and broke up plays. I think Stutzman was the best cover guy.
Yeah, he made a couple really deep in coverage, but he also had the pick 6 against Tulsa. He had a couple other ones with his hand right there, almost had picks, which
the bowl game he did.
It tells you 2 things. One, obviously, he's good in coverage. 2, the other one it tells you is he knows where he's supposed to be. I think that's the most important thing. That's the most thing is he knows where he's supposed to be, where maybe Canick's still learning that. I mean, that's not an easy thing to do. I mean, there's so much instinct involved with that too. And Danny has a great instinct. So that's part of it.
And one area that Kip, in my opinion, struggled with was coverage, especially against tight ends. Obviously, he's not huge, but he was lost a couple of times in the zone. And I think he needs to put about 10 pounds on over the summer.
Yeah, but I agree with you on Kip, but I wonder how much weight he can put on. That's
I mean, we'll see.
Been there 2 years, he hasn't put a whole lot on, so maybe that's not his body type, man. I mean, I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, linebacker room is super deep. Look, the lineman, if you can somehow what, Jay, go ahead.
I was going to say, what do you think the main difference we're going to see this year from Ted Root to Zach Alley coaching linebackers?
Well, from what we've heard, Jay, Zach Alley's going to be on the field.
Yeah.
So,
which I think will help tremendously with. I love Brent Venables going over there and talking to him. I think that's great. But also maybe it'll relieve Brent Venables. I say that, but he's going to want to be in there. But you have a guy right there on the field instead of up in the box. I think that's going to help.
And intensity, Jay Jones says intensity. I think that's accurate. So you're on the field. You have intensity, high energy.
Who goes to the booth?
Jay, I think Ted Roof was probably pretty good relationally. I think Zach Alley's going to be so much better with these young guys. I think that Chad Gamble, who's a Sooner Surge Unlimited member, talks about Stutzman's football IQ. It's off the chart.
Great.
And Zach Alley
got it in the blood.
I think those two guys are going to be. They're going to be. I mean, they're just going to be unbelievable in the film room. I think. Can you imagine all the talk about just film stuff that they're going to geek out of that stuff? I think.
Oh yeah. What about what Roscoe says here? Dolby should be the cheetah. Is he big enough to be the cheetah?
I like how they used Dolby last year. Now he played cheetah last year. So.
Hey, what he is an outstanding blitzer.
Steve Stutzman here says the message and coaching will be consistent. Now I think the implication is maybe it hasn't been. Maybe there's been some confusion.
I don't know if he's implying that. I'm just saying.
I don't know if that's it either. But
maybe he is.
Here's what I'll say, Jay. Jay, here's what we do know. Zach Alley is basically Brent Venables 2.0. He's a younger BV. He's basically his son. He's done everything his coach has been. So I think in that it's going to be exactly the same.
Yes, and I think he'll coach it similar to the way BV would. But I do think Alley has some of his own flair to it. I think he will have some flair to it.
Good point, Ronald. Good point. And then I do want to talk about
more man-to-man to OU. That's my question.
It sounds like they are.
You think so?
Sounds like it. Hey, Donnie, I was calling for Desan McCullough to be on the field a lot more last year. He kind of digressed in playing time as the year went on. I know there's some injury bugs, but Jay, you think OU can get pressure with the three-man front?
I have more belief they can get pressure with a three-man front this year coming up than they have in the past. I'll say that. Now, how often will they – listen, I don't care if you get pressure with a three-man front. The key is to get pressure with a four-man front, okay? Yes, obviously three would be outstanding, but if you can get it with four, that would be even great. If you can get it with just four, somebody beat their guy and get it, that would help out tremendously. I think they're going to have – we all talked about it, the best defensive line class they've had in years. I mean, years. So if I would think it would be a lot better this year on the defensive line. Now, whether or not does that lead to more blitz? They're going to blitz less. I don't think they blitzed a ton last year. So
I think DeJoun Terry is big enough. I think DeJoun Terry is going to be even better this year. And Hunter agrees.
It looks like.
Hunter agrees. It looks like David Stone, Alpha Dog.
Jeremy, you're the one that's been against three-man front. I've been saying I love the three-man front. They just haven't had the guys to do it.
Hey, and I'm going to disagree a little with Sooner fan. I don't know that you need a 350-pound nose tackle. 320, good. 350, I don't know that OU is going to go get 350. I may be wrong, but there's not many of those guys out there, first of all.
Let me answer Mass's question, too. The key to beating these defenses is the linebacker. Zach Alley will improve the linebacker group. I agree with it, but I also say this. The defensive line in Brent Venables' defense helps the linebackers out tremendously. If the linebackers are having to fight through all junk that the linemen haven't taken on, it makes their job really hard. So, yes, the linebackers are key, but also if those defensive linemen aren't taking on guys and doing their gaps and everything where the linebackers can't come in there and make the tackle, then it's going to be a long season too. So I think it goes hand in hand, really.
Hey, and to answer the hub, Zach Alley can recruit because he's already offered Jayden Harmon from Georgia, and there was one other guy from Georgia that was offered. So he's in the southern states already making a difference. Kim, you're absolutely right. It's the 3 R's, and you're right. I think there needs to be at the defensive line, rotation, rotation, rotation. Keep guys fresh. It's as big as anything.
Yeah, Brian Bold Eagle says, I hope BB lets Zach spin, turn this cat loose on the calls. We talked about that, gosh, last week when it was official about whether we not think that Alley's calling the plays, and we both agree that he will, but Brent Venables obviously have his hand in it and his voice in it, whether he wants to veto anything. I'm sure BB, I mean.
Roscoe, that's why I said 320 is more my liking. 350, first off, they're rare if you get one. And second of all, how good are they at 350?
Jackson recovered a fumble.
Look, Jayden, and I Sooner fan, Sweat was great. They're rare though. There's not tons of them out there, is what I'm saying.
No, but when you get a good one, it makes a big difference on the defense, big time.
Fong to Ohio State, Nate Roberts, Jay.
I have not seen that. Is that official that you've seen that?
I don't know. Donnie put that on there.
I have not seen it. He's visiting this weekend, Hunter says. Hunter, how are you watching the game? It was on my Hulu. I could watch it right before I got on here.
Hey, Sweat is really good, Sooner fan. There's not many of those guys out there.
Agreed. 247. Hey, would that shock you if Nate Roberts chose Ohio State?
Well, I've heard Joe John Finley has a pretty good relationship with the family, so maybe a little.
Do you think Devon Mitchell might have had something to do with that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, maybe he doesn't think he's going to get on the field much with Mitchell in front of him.
I don't know. Ohio State's a great place to go play tight end too. I mean,
one thing you got to think about. I could go somewhere for a year and leave. I could go somewhere, and then if some guy leaves another school, I could just go somewhere else. So it's not like it's set in stone anyway. His brother Jake Roberts is at his third school, and it's OU. The tight end Ron from Washington is Nate Roberts. His brother is Jake Roberts at OU, transfer portal from first North Texas, then Baylor.
And like Hunter said, crystal balls put in before Jake transferred to OU. Who knows?
Agreed.
I mean, I'm not going to get into all that. Who knows?
Jay, trivia.
Love to have him in Norman. Okay, I got a good trivia tonight. Okay. We all know it's a sad day. Sad day in sports because of the Sports Illustrated. Y'all all heard the news. Man, I've been kind of going through some Sports Illustrated covers today. And here's what I want to know. Back in 2002, OU was on the college football preview on Sports Illustrated. I want to know the caption. The caption that was there with Tommy Harris. We're talking about big defensive lineman. Tommy Harris, what was the caption on the cover? And OU had many covers, man. The Sports Illustrated, what a sad day. Drop it in the chat. If you know you got to get it right to the T. You got to be exactly right on this. Jimmy already got it. Boom. He must have that one. So good it's scary. That's it.
Hey, Sooner fan is correct. OU's got a tough one tomorrow at the road in Cincy. You've got to steal one. At some point, you've got to steal a road game. Tomorrow, I think it happens.
Hey, while we're on basketball for a minute, I got to say something. First off, great job on the trivia, Jimmy, getting that so quickly. But what Kelvin Sampson just said today about Texas was great. I don't know if everybody saw it, but they asked him about the horns down and why they were whining about it. And he said, Texas has Jayden Jackson just got a fumble recovery touchdown. Texas has OU sucks in their fight song. Let's grow up a little bit. Like, basically, why does this bother Texas so much? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know, but Jay,
even Park said it's kind of a sign of respect when people do it. But
yeah, already said that 405 boy. Nate Roberts.
Trouble in the SEC if they're worried about that.
Nate Roberts is the tight end. Yeah, covered that. Hey, I'm watching these NFL games. Tight ends are so valuable. Good tight ends, throwing to the tight ends. I think a lot has to do with
valuable in the NFL.
I think a lot has to do with the offense, but I think more has to do with the quarterback. Some quarterbacks are used to using tight ends and can dump it down there. Others can't see the field that well, don't make progressions. I'm not alluding to anyone necessarily.
Dang, Brian Bald Eagle. 5'9". I'm only 5'7", bro. 11 years
12 and
old.
under Mississippi. Wow.
Get a commitment to Oklahoma right there.
Yeah, Nate Roberts is at Ohio State, probably talking to Bill O'Brien, the new coordinator. That might deter him from going there.
Well, I'm not a fan of Bill O'Brien. I'll say that. Not at all. Only thing Texas fans' emotions are good for is hurting them. Yeah.
Jay, how big is it going to be next year, man?
Okay, but wait. Let me say this. The Hub, real quick. I don't believe it bothers their real fans. This was a coach. This was their head coach.
Yeah, it was their coach.
First off, I'll say this too. Let me say this. I said this last night. Interim coaches hardly ever work out. They probably should have never hired him.
Hey,
it doesn't work out that often.
Richard, you're right. Every team's going to do it in the SEC, and there won't be a penalty. Hey, was Landon Hatcher's? It was not an ACL, I know. I was thinking it was a meniscus mess. Maybe Hunter can figure that out. Guys, Landon Hatchett, for a young guy, played.
He's a highly recruited kid.
4-star and played a bit. So,
Hunter, I disagree with that 100%, by the way.
I agree with Hunter. He earned it.
I disagree.
He earned it, though. He should have got a chance.
You can't, Jeremy, you cannot base your hire off one guy that filled in for somebody that got fired over a scandal. Of course they're going to go in there and the team's going to rally. That doesn't mean they can coach him for –
I get that too, Jay, but Rodney Terry has been proven where he's been.
Tell me one interim that's worked out really good for a team. Go.
Well,
any sport.
We'll see how Antonio Pierce does. How about that? He just got hired today officially.
We will see that.
I like him a lot. I like him a lot.
I think it's going to be the same issue, Jeremy.
I like him a lot.
Hunter, that is worthy of a hire at maybe Boston University. I don't think so at Texas University of Texas.
We'll see about the Antonio Pierce. Hey, yeah, Hatcher was a freshman all-conference, guys. He's the younger brother. Man, if you can land both of these guys, 4-star linemen, we'll see what Magic Beatenbow can do. But
yeah, I'm moving on from it, man. Don't worry.
Yeah, I don't know why you're talking about it so much, Jay. It's ridiculous.
Moving on. Sorry.
About to make me lose my mind. Talking about Texas basketball.
Lose your mind? You lose
yes.
your mind. It doesn't matter what I say. You lose your mind, so I don't care.
Not hard to against you, Jay. Let's talk about Hatchet real quick. A decision by Monday, I would think.
You know how my opinion of this on the portal. When guys visit from the portal, I would think if they're going to commit, it's going to be quickly. Especially, here's the thing.
I like this.
30-day window, okay? But if they want to get enrolled at OU, you got to be within that 2-week window. I think Hunter knows the dates perfectly, but 2-week window basically is what they have. School started last Wednesday. I think they might have till a week from Monday or Tuesday, I think is maybe what it is. Bradley says tomorrow is when they commit.
Look, I'm going to say the same thing on Zalance Hurd. If you don't get them after they're there on campus, you're probably not getting them. I like what Mez said about the Hatchet brothers need Norman because, you know, they're not fans of what were done to them. And maybe this is the place that they need.
And by the way, Jay, Hurd is not completely dead. If you watch, we did an unlimited members only video earlier today about it. He has enrolled. He was in the student directory. So he's enrolled at Tennessee apparently. So from some volunteers.
Hey, get on the Sooner Surge Unlimited because we do usually drop some member only videos. It's worth I hope anyone that's on here right now, just do me this real quick. If you're on here and you're a Sooner Surge Unlimited member, especially if you're in the Discord, we need more of you in that. I hope you would think that it's worth it. I hope you could kind of vouch for that because we are trying to ramp up the members only stuff, and Hunter can put the link in there as well. But it's definitely worth it. Just don't take one Starbucks out of your month or energy drink, and it's it. So, and we're never going to go up in price. Okay.
I want to say this too, Ron. I'm trying to get a guy on about NIL, but let me say this. Tennessee's spending the money to get better. Okay, say that, and say that if you want confidently, Ron. I am not worried that OU's going to have a problem beating Tennessee, okay? And I'll say this. Some of these schools that are spending money in the portal does not equal playoffs or victories, okay? It doesn't. Go ask Texas A&M of how it worked out. You can't put all your marbles on a few players in the portal, okay? I know Tennessee's getting better. I get it. They were supposed to be really good last year. Where'd they end up?
You're right, Jay.
They had the year before. Everyone was like, this team's going to be unreal.
Look, you win on the football field. We'll see. It's great to have talent, but you got to put it together. Jayden Jackson sounds like Hunter says he's being interviewed, had a good game. I think he is very much under thought of in this class because he's always been because he's next to David Stone, and he loves it that way. Bobby Redwine, you did it right there.
Bobby.
Painless. It's painless. And now, Bobby, make sure you click on the Discord link. It's part of what you're getting with your $4.99. You can chat to us all day during the games, all that. Voice calls.
I'm going to say this. I've been a little bit critical, I think, some in the portal about OU on some of these big-time guys. But I also want to say this. Like, nothing's going to change. I think every night we get on and be like, well, you didn't get another 5-star in the portal. Guys, if that's not their philosophy, it's not going to change. Brent Venables is not going to change what he wants in the team. And if he doesn't see if he's not going to go overpay that Tennessee's overpaying a guy, it's not going to happen. So I think, yes, we can be, as fans, you can be like, man, I really wanted to get Caden Proctor out of the portal. That would be amazing. I did too. I think he'd be amazing. But at the same time, I'm not the football coach, and I'm not running that program. And if that's not what they want to do, I'm going to support it 100%. Yeah, I can be mad about it. I can be like, shoot, I really wanted him.
Hey.
Fine. But I think my main point is, I think we're fooling ourselves if we think it's going to change like this.
It's not, Jay. It's not going to change like that. Chad, the Discord link is in the description of the members video from today that we sent out. It's also if you click the comment of the members video, it's there. Click it. You have the app. You'll be on the Discord. We'll welcome you as soon as you get on there. One more thing. Someone mentioned a Syracuse D tackle that OU's after. And you're right, Dalpois. It didn't help USC when they went and got that.
Bear Alexander helped them last year.
Bear Alexander helped. I'd be happy with the Hatchers too. I'd be happy.
How did Bear Alexander help USC last year?
Do what?
How well did Bear Alexander help USC?
Well, overall their team struggled defensively, but he was like their best player. So,
okay, but it can't just be one or two players, dude. No team. You can go get a couple guys. Doesn't mean you're going to be playoff bound. It just doesn't.
It is crushing on some of them. And OU's been hurt by 5-star guys. OU's been hurt by some that came, that 5-star guys that came.
I also think what people are going to find out is that guys like David Stone, Jayden, some of these guys we talked about tonight in the Polynesian Bowl, they come to OU and they stay 3 or 4 years, they'll get paid plenty, okay?
And listen, I can't say about the program because I'm not in the nuances as in and out. You do at some point, as Brian Bald Eagle says, have to trust the staff. Hey. I do trust. Listen, Jay, just a second. Jeez, I do trust BV and staff. And I think that, as people have said on here, they're not going to overpay. They're going to use the money they have. They're going to pay those that are there. They're going to pay the ones that want to be there and that are not just chasing the money. Now, you would hope a couple of those are 5-stars. OU has got some more of those the last 2 years under BV than they did under Lincoln Riley, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They have. Fact. Now it's got to pan out.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought what I was going to say, but it was something along the line of
there's Jay Jones. Hey, Jay Jones, I know you've been on here religiously, faithfully every night. I appreciate you taking that step. Listen, Jay, go to there may be a link on there, but there is on the new members video. Join the Discord so we can chat throughout the day. You'll be on the members Discord.
Let's go to Bradley here. That's how Ole Miss has been building their team, is in portal the past few years, but Kiffin good at it. Here's the thing.
Now he's got to prove it.
Here's the thing. I think as a coach, Kiffin is going more portal. He's still recruiting up pretty good, but his focus is portal. And I think the narrative is out there. You want to go portal, Ole Miss is a good option for you, okay? All you do is watch Britt Venables the first year he was hired. What he said. He goes, I'm a coach of development. Guys always get better the third or fourth year in the system, and they grow as a person. They grow as a player. You cannot listen to Brent Venables say development game. It's a development game. And then also want Brent Venables to go get different guys every year. You know what I mean?
Hey, yeah. Jay, let me ask you this, because Mez brings up great point, as Mez always does. Mez is great as well, just like all the Sooner Search viewers on here. But Stone, Okoye, Jackson, Nigel Gilmore mitigated the need to overpay NIL for portal in 2024. I agree with that. And here's the other thing. I'm going to ask this question because I honestly don't know the answer. And then I want to get to this Batman and Robin thing. I honestly don't know the answer, Jay. Let's say Stone and Jackson go out next year and Danny Okoye, and they look really, really good. Okay, really, really good. Do they pay them year upon year? Do they get a little bit more each year? I don't know how that works, but are they, at some point you got to say, I got to pay these guys so they don't leave.
Jeremy,
who's there?
Jeremy, you cannot sit here right here and say that you think, I don't think that's what you're saying, but year by year, if you get better, obviously, if you would have entered the portal, like if Danny Stutzman or Kinnick or some of these guys, Billy Bowman would have said, I'm going to come back for a year, but I'm going to go to the portal. They would have got paid a good chunk, okay? And
sure.
I'm sure they got paid good money to come back to you. I think as you go throughout the years and develop, obviously, you're going to get more money if you're – I mean, at some point, it's got to be you pay for your production too, right? Your worth. It's just like if you're not playing very much, you're not going to get as much, I don't think. I don't know how it works, though. But I think we're fooling ourselves if we think guys are coming back and not getting more money. Right?
No, I'm not. I absolutely think they are.
If Okoye goes out there and dominates, name, image, likeness, man. Danny Stutzman, look at his name, image, likeness, dude. I mean, he's valuable. He's worth money. You pay for what you have done, Bobby says. You pay for your name. You pay for your likeness. You also pay for your production.
I agree wholeheartedly, Jay. You pay. Maybe when we have the recruit guy on, we can talk about that.
Perfect example. Yes, I think so, Ron.
100% he's making more money with the Ducks.
PG got paid more to go to Oregon than he would have got at OU, I think.
Did you see what Dion said? Did you see? I don't usually listen to Dion. I could care less what he says. But he did have an interesting point. He said 50,000 gets you about walk-ons. And he then also said that he would like to see a chart of anyone in the portal and right next to their name what their NIL want is before proceeding. But I don't know. We'll see. 50K, Ron, that's what he said. That's exactly what he said. 50K gets you a walk-on. I want to go back to the Jayden Jackson, David Stone, Batman Robin. There's people and guys playing both those guys together. I know they're true freshmen. It may happen. They're so used to playing together. Like, it may happen next year, especially in rotation. They're definitely not going to be the two starters, but it'd be interesting if they do that.
Hey, I got another quick trivia. Okay.
And then Jay, the guy you're going to have on, came on last year. He's a great dude with the recruit route. He deals with all this stuff. We're going to try to get him on the live.
Yeah. Hey, I want to do another trivia because this Sports Illustrated thing, just looking over some of these today. I'm going to do another cover question. Obviously, we're wanting a natty at Oklahoma. They won the national championship back in 2000. What was the caption on the cover photo? Quentin Griffin was on the cover, obviously. Had a great year that year. What was the caption? This one's simple. Giving somebody a chance to get a point here tonight.
Okoye is Jay Durbin's sleeper, and I think he's a lot of people's sleeper. The guy is a freak athlete. Off the edge is going to be elite.
Jay Jones, case closed.
Jay Jones becomes a new member and gets the trivia right off the bat.
Good job, Jay.
Unbelievable.
Good job. Okay, what were we going to get to? There was an NIL question, I think.
I don't think the NIL is changing in 2024. I think it's going to stay the same.
What's wrong with, okay, what's going to happen with this college football EA Sports game coming out?
That's going to be interesting. It's the summer. I think it's when it's coming out.
July. Is that going to affect NIL?
You're saying whoever's on the cover gets paid more.
I'm just throwing out. I don't know. I mean, I'm just. I don't know, and Hunter, I wouldn't be surprised with that at all.
I agree. A lot of the power line might be in the rotation. The entire one, I'm not sure on. Wyatt Gilmore, for one, has an injury he's coming off of.
Yeah, I like Wyatt Gilmore.
I love Wyatt Gilmore. So yeah.
Oh, EA's not in the game? Oh, is he being sarcastic? EA's in the game.
Yeah, he'll believe it when he sees it. Yeah, believe it when he. What did Adam say? I missed what Adam said here. 500 per player is what they said at first.
For the college football, that's weak.
That is weak.
But
compared to what other people are paying, I know. Release date, Jay Jones says, is July 12th. I'm not a gamer. Jay, I do remember playing a game on, and don't interrupt here, Jay, Sega Genesis, Joe Montana football. Listen to this, guys. I'm lining up to win the game on a fake field goal. Fake field goal. I'm going to win the game on a fake field goal. What happens? I line up to kick it. The announcer on the freaking game says, it's a fake. I hadn't even snapped the ball yet. Had to call a timeout. Lost the game. Appreciate you, Sega Genesis. Joe Montana football.
Bagman's wanting his sole mission will be on the NCAA video game.
No. Probably not.
Hey, let me ask you a serious question on NIL. Okay? Because they're going to have to hire a commissioner. They're going to have to. They're going to have to hire somebody to run the NCAA. It's turning into a minor league NFL here. Is there any chance? I hate to ask this question, but we're going down this road. Obviously, you're going to have contracts. You're going to have. At what point is it where you're? Is there ever going to be where you can start trading players?
Someone mentioned that, Jay. And before we get to that real quick.
I'm not rolling anything.
Hey, I'm not ruling anything out. It's the NCAA, Jay. Jay Durbin, shout out to you and your wife, Janice. You've been watching this show. New fans of it. Appreciate you. Appreciate that.
Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it. Big time.
Sports Illustrated. They fired the entire staff, Chad. Every bit of it.
No more. It's no more.
Hey, Adam, I love this idea. Bob Stoops president, Saban vice president.
Why would Saban be vice?
Because I'm a Bob Stoops fan, Jay.
I want Bob Stoops to come coach my Cowboys, but that's not
I absolutely do too, Jay.
They hired Mike McCarthy again. Geez, don't even get me started.
Well, I'm going to say this about Sports Illustrated. It's a bad mistake. What's going on there? And I'm going to say this about ESPN. I don't care if they come after me. No, they don't watch this show anyway, so who cares?
After you, lowly person.
That's my point, Jay. They don't watch me. All they do is they keep the talking heads, and maybe I'm one of them, and they get rid of the best journalists, the best writers, those who know the most about the teams. They get rid of those people, and they hire these talking heads and pay them outrageous amounts of money to say nothing.
Hey,
ESPN's done bad.
Tanya's amazing. Tanya is
the GOAT, dude.
I appreciate you so much, Tanya. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Let's see here. Cloud says you stay open. Capitalism.
Mez says, according to the NFL draft, no player can enter the draft if they are paid football professionals. The NFL will have to change their bylaws. It's funny. People don't look at bylaws.
There's so many changes.
Hunter says the NIL is excluded from that.
I can't wait till we get somebody on here to talk about it. It's going to be great. But guys, where would you like to see it go? I think personally, where I would like to see it go is, and I think the only way to stop the portal, there's two ways to stop transfer portal. One, contracts that you have to abide by. Two, you got to sit out a year with no NIL, no pay. Sit out. If you want to transfer, fine, but you're going to sit out a year, no NIL.
Look,
it's free. It's free agency every single year. Everybody's a free agent every year.
It is, and again, we've talked about the portal so much, and that's why we're reaching out to someone to come on here because we want to pick his brain about it. Listen, Jay Jones, I hope you're not related to Jerry Jones. Maybe you are. I don't think you are because you're pretty critical of him too, but it is ridiculous. The Dallas Cowboys, my team, America's team, maybe, never going to win anything with Jerry Jones there. They won despite Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones, he's gotten soft.
And Chuck, I actually don't watch ESPN for those things. I think the average sports fan wants to see the talking heads. I think the good sports fans, which is what we have on here, I think in our chat coming on the side, I think those viewers want to actually hear good content, go geek out on some of the stuff.
Hey, who's your favorite analyst? I can go over some of them. I'll tell you this. ESPN, I love David Pollack. They got rid of him. He was one of the best on there. They got rid of David Pollack and kept Desmond Howard. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
They kept Joey Galloway.
Still sitting in a chair on ESPN. Make it make sense.
Joey Galloway.
Guy's awful.
I tell you one that's awful is Booger McFarland.
Booger, I can handle Booger a little bit.
Awful, dude.
Donnie, I appreciate you being on here. Appreciate you commenting. This will never work. Okay? You can't team like OU or Ohio State the same amount of cash as a team like OSU, for instance, or Texas State University. I can't do it. They bring in way more money.
It won't happen. I think Ricky's talking about Pat McAfee, the redneck guy. Hey, Adam George, Pollock is the man. If you have not checked out his podcast, Family
Goals.
Family Goals. Dude's a great follower of Christ. Just a great podcast. Check it out if you're into those things. Pat McAfee cracks him up. And look, I'm not saying everyone. And you're right, Chuck. It's what pays the bills. You're absolutely right. That's why ESPN made the decision. You're right on that.
I'll say this real quick. To me, if I'm going to watch a college football game in a broadcast, the only one I think, to me, is far above every other broadcast crew is Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, and Holly Rowe. To me, if I'm going to watch a football game on Saturday, that's who I want calling the games. Nothing against Gus Johnson and Joe Klatt. They're not on the same level as Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, and Holly Rowe, in my opinion. That's the best broadcast crew out there. I don't think you can beat it. When I think college football and I'm listening to it, that's who I want to hear every single time. Chris Fowler is one of the best dudes that's ever been on ESPN, and I think he's outstanding. Go watch him cover tennis, cover football, cover back. It doesn't matter. That dude covers it all, and he's outstanding. I don't think you can beat him.
I'm going to use a little play on words here, guys. I agree with Robert Neff. Disney killed ESPN. Disney basically channeled their inner Elsa and let it go to crap. How about that? How about that?
That's not. The song is "Let It Go."
Yeah, I know. I said "Let It Go to crap," Jay. T-Row and Teddy. Yeah, we need to get T-Row on here again. Hey, before we get off here, there's a lot. And you're right, Mess. He was too religious. That's sad, and that's probably the truth.
Now, wait, real quick before we get off here, I do want to. I understand your point. I really do. Okay, but I'm also at a job where every year I'm not having other jobs just come after me every single year. I mean, I'd have to go search them out. They're not just going to come to me like football. Football comes and tries to get guys out of the portal every time. You can leave whenever you want. It's a little different. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, but
Jay, I wouldn't mind seeing a cap, but I don't think it'll happen. But
I mean, obviously, I wouldn't mind sitting out a year.
But it's not the universities, guys, the NIL.
I wouldn't mind sitting out a year of work if they're going to pay me $2 million the next year. I'd be fine with that.
Well, yeah. A lot to think tonight, guys, before we get off here. First, for all those that joined tonight, please, if you cannot find the Discord link, which should be in the members video under the comments, if you can't find it, Hunter's going to drop our email, ousportsroundup@gmail.com.
Yep.
Send us an email. We'll respond with the link, okay? Appreciate that, Bobby. Yeah, YouTube and podcasts have saved the day.
They have.
Listen, I want to shout out all those that have joined tonight because we've had several. And Hunter can help me out. Jay Jones has joined. Thank you, Jay Jones. Appreciate it. Bobby Redwine, I believe, joined tonight. Thank you so much, Bobby. There is maybe even another one. I can't remember, but Tanya had the super. Thanks so much. Chad, I know Chad Gamble's going to hit up on the Discord. Believe and Be Saved. Robbie Martin all joined.
Hey, and I want to say something about what Monty Ward said here. I didn't see that, but I did read an article from DeMarco Ryans, their coach. He's a big-time follower, too. I'm rooting for them this weekend, big time. Nothing against Baltimore, but I'm rooting for Houston.
Yeah, and thanks, Jay. Have a good night. You and Janice, thanks for watching. Chuck, you're right. Texas is killing it. Before we get off here, let me say it again. You can join. Appreciate everyone that's been on here. You guys are unbelievable. Seriously. And you know Jay and I, we just love talking sports. Again, we do have other videos. I got to shout out Hunter. Hunter, doing great job in the chat. Believe and Be Safe. Thanks for being a member today. We appreciate you. Thanks so much. Love your name again. Hunter does a great job. Please give Hunter a shout in the comments. He is really good at keeping the comments rolling and putting them up there. He helps show all of them. We couldn't do it without him. So big shout out to Hunter. Hunter's on our videos as well that we do. Got some great insight as well, as does others who are part of the Sooner Surge. But you can help us right now. Like. Comment, or even better, join. Get on the Discord. We'll chat tomorrow during the OUB ball game, or whatever you guys want to talk about in recruiting or everything else. Appreciate you all. Till next time, Boomer.
Sooner.